Morning traders, and this is your Aussie day trade setup for today. So just starting off on the weekly because there's something very interesting that is brewing on this chart. Let me just get this to the middle. And that is we have this massive weekly triangle here. Okay, so we have a massive bit of consolidation here. So you can't help but thinking that something is going to break one way or another. But we still do have another week or two where we can carry on with this sideways motion, but the squeeze is coming. And the other thing is that you've got all the sellers that are stepping in 3 weeks in a row now. So, yeah, I think, on the weekly side, I think you have a lot of people that are driving for this double top. Anyway, if we look at the daily, you'll see our triangle still very much intact. But what we want to do now is just fine-tune this triangle. Let's take the last two. There they are, and take the last two here. Right, so that is our current triangle. You can see we're staying below the 200 EMA, rejected it yet again, and we've also ended up with an inside bar. Now that there is kind of bullish, kind of bearish, but with the tails at the top and bottom, that is a range bar. So what I'd normally do is just, those are the two levels I'm looking to break. Okay, and if I look to the left, you'll see there has been congestion in this area in the past. And look even further back and you can see it's an area of a lot of interest. Okay, and that's pretty much around this 50,000 area. So the top of this is 5136 and the bottom is 49,532. So it's around 50,000 that this price action is happening. So looking at the 3 hour, I mean, we had a gap up, massive run. We were expecting the gap up. Wasn't expecting a massive run. I was expecting something to happen around the head and shoulders neckline here. It didn't materialize. Back to the top and then reversed, and now we're bouncing around again. So I think this is going to continue today. We've got FOMC minutes, the FOMC minute meeting that's happening, so we're expecting something out on that today. And it could be anything. It just depends which way the wind blows and how people want to react to what they're going to say. I mean, everybody's expecting the Feds to announce more interest rate cuts, put some stimulus into the market, but they could also decide not to, which would then drive the market in the opposite direction. So I think if you look at the US markets, everything's in limbo, and that's pretty much how I would trade this at the moment. However, consolidation, big down, consolidation. To me, I would expect a second move down, and it wouldn't surprise me to see that happen, which would give us almost a gap close. Well, it would give us a gap close because I don't think that's a valid candle. No, that's not a valid candle. So it would give us gap close. Okay, so why I'm saying that is move down, consolidation. This consolidation is pretty much a wedge at the moment, or a channel, I suppose. Back off to an area of resistance. So a break below this, a break out of this channel is going to give us gap close to the downside. Okay, that's a half decent trade, that. So that would be 400 points. I just want to get down a little bit lower, just double check what we see here. The only fracture we've got is down the bottom here, so let's just go right down to the 12 minutes. And we do have a fractal level here. Okay, so level we're looking to break to the downside is pretty much 49715. Okay, we do have a little bit of a gap at the top here, so it wouldn't surprise me too much to get up to 49843, and in fact anything close to the top of this flag would interest me for a short. So we can get up to this area here. Will give me a 330 point stop loss. Okay, so that's kind of the move I expect. I expect sort of a move to the downside, more than likely close the gap. We've got a little gap here as well. Okay, that's probably a 5-minute gap there, and then we have this gap here that we need to close. So that's pretty much what I expect is going to happen. So for me, it's a short off the top or a short on the break. If it's a short on the break, then the stop is above. If we're short there, then the stop is up here. And that's a nice one, 230 point trade, a 230 point risk. Okay, that's kind of my view at the moment. Once we get to this gap, it's take profit and then close the charts and come back tomorrow. Okay, while we wait for the Feds to sort their nonsense out. So if we just move across to the ichimoku, I don't think we're going to see much difference here. And I'm just going to run through all the time frames on ichimoku here because of what's going on. So if you look at the 12 minutes, we've got bullish signal, bullish signal. That's not bullish, that's bearish. Okay, we are grouping back the downside. So kind of, it's almost telling you that you expect another move to the upside, which would make sense. Ignore this red bar, that's nonsense data. So we are at the top of the cloud. And if we just look at what's happening with the rand dollar at the moment, ever so slightly stronger, 14.60, and 10 cents is flat. So everything is flat because it will be flat until we see something happen on the blitz or with the Feds. Okay, if we look at the half hour, that is basically bearish. We've had a crossover, we've got a cross with price, and the only issue is the cloud, which is green. Okay, but if you look here, cloud's not really that thick in this area, so there is some resistance, but very possible for a move to the downside. When I see this kind of thing, always looking towards a move towards the downside. Okay, whenever Kijinsen's above Teganson, we've got a bearish cross or a death cross on any time frame. I'm looking for the opportunity to trade with it. Okay, 1 hour is a different picture. We've got pretty much a bullish cross here, still bullish, that's bullish, and that's bullish. Okay, mixed signals here, and if we look at the 4 hour, it is bearish. So rule of thumb for me is to always go with the high time frame, but as you can see, half hour is bearish, hour is bullish, and 4 hour is bearish. So lots of mixed signals. Okay, and we've also got this bigger flag break here. Flag break and retest now. So that could also hold. Okay, so there's two signals here. So you've really got, on the lower time frame, you've got this flag that's brewed here to move to the downside, and then on the bigger time frames, you've got this flag break and current retest with an inside bar. Okay, however, bearish, bearish, bearish. So all the signals are bearish here. So that may not transpire. And then lastly, on the daily, we are in the cloud, inside bar, bearish, bullish, bullish. We've got mixed signals here as well. So yeah, anything is possible, but that's why I'm saying, if we do get a move to the downside, I would expect gap close, which would set up a daily double bottom, and that daily double bottom would be at a Fibonacci level as well. Would be at the 61.8. Well, fairly close. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of my view. Lots of mixed signals. That's why I will be picking the 12-minute today and trade off the 12 minutes. Okay, and what I'm looking for is pretty much a break of this flag to the downside. So I'm favoring the shorts for a second move to the downside, and what I am looking for is a decent break below 49,715. Okay, so I want a 12-minute close below that. That will give me my entry with the stop up here. Okay, and the target obviously is gap close to the downside, which is, I think, just do yourself a favor and save yourself some stress. Look what it is on the 5-minute. Yeah, so what I would do is be looking around 49,360. That's my take profit area. Not exactly on the gap, but that's kind of what I'll be doing. Okay, there we go, guys. That's it for me today. Lots of mixed bag, and that's to be expected with FOMC today. So be very careful about whatever trades you're doing, and keep those stops tight. Even if you do get stopped out, and you see that the trade is working in the direction you thought it was going to work, you can always get back into it. Rather take a smaller loss than a bigger loss. Okay, but it is going to be volatile, so do expect volatility, and quite a bit of it today. Okay, there we go. That's it for me today. Hope it helps, and I will catch you later. Cheers for now.